You know what's funny? Right now, you're probably supposed to be doing something else. Maybe there's work waiting, a project due, an email you've been avoiding for days, bills sitting on your desk, a conversation you keep pushing back. But instead, you're here, watching this. And here's the thing, you might even tell yourself you'll finish this video later. Save it for when you have more time. Bookmark it for tomorrow. But you won't. You'll forget. You'll scroll past it. And that task you're avoiding? It'll still be sitting there, waiting, judging, growing bigger in your mind. That's procrastination, not laziness, not poor time management, not lack of discipline. It's something deeper, something psychological, something most people never understand about themselves. And if you've ever felt stuck, frozen, unable to start even when you know you should, this isn't about willpower. It's about understanding why your brain works this way. Because not everyone procrastinates for the same reason. Some are running from failure. Some are running from success. And some aren't running at all. They're just waiting for a feeling that never comes. Let's break it down. The perfectionist paralyzed. This type doesn't procrastinate because they don't care. They procrastinate because they care too much. They see the task. They know exactly what needs to be done. They've probably planned it in their head a dozen times. But they can't start until everything is perfect. The timing, the mood, the conditions, the environment, the plan. And deep down, there's a fear running the show. If I do this and it's not perfect, what does that say about me? If I try and fail, does that mean I'm not good enough? Psychologists call this maladaptive perfectionism. The belief that anything less than perfect equals failure, that mistakes equal weakness. So they wait. They plan, they prepare, they organize, but they never begin. Because beginning means exposing themselves to the possibility of being imperfect. You'll recognize them easily. They're the ones with 47 browser tabs open, researching the best way to start instead of just starting. They have color-coded schedules they never follow, beautiful to-do lists that never get touched, elaborate plans they never execute, notebooks full of ideas they never act on. They'll tell you they're getting ready, but really, they're stalling. It's not procrastination, it's self-protection, a defense mechanism. Because if you never try, you can never fail. And if you never fail, you can keep believing you're capable of perfection. The task avoider. This one runs on avoidance, pure, instinctive avoidance. Not because the task is hard, not because they don't have the skills, but because the task represents something uncomfortable, something they're not ready to deal with. Maybe it's a conversation they don't want to have, a decision they're not ready to make, a reality they're not ready to face, a truth they're trying to ignore. So they avoid it. And the longer they avoid it, the bigger it becomes in their mind. What started as a simple task transforms into this massive, overwhelming thing. Psychologists link this to emotional regulation issues. The task itself isn't the problem. It's neutral. The feelings attached to it are the problem. Fear, guilt, shame, anxiety, dread, overwhelm. And instead of dealing with those feelings, instead of processing them, they delay the task. They convince themselves it's not the right time. They'll do it tomorrow, next week, next month, when they feel ready, when things calm down, when the stars align. But that moment never comes, and the task just sits there, growing heavier, becoming more intimidating with each passing day. If you've ever spent hours doing meaningless things, scrolling endlessly, watching videos, reorganizing your desk, just to avoid one important thing, you're this type. You're not lazy. You're not irresponsible. You're emotionally protecting yourself from something that feels too big, too heavy, too real to face right now. The energy manager. These people don't procrastinate out of fear or perfectionism. They procrastinate because they're waiting for the right energy, the right mood, the right vibe. the right mental state. They tell themselves, I'll do it when I feel motivated. I'll start when I'm in the zone. I need to be in the right headspace first. But motivation is a feeling, and feelings don't follow schedules. Feelings come and go. They're unpredictable, unreliable. So they wait, and wait, and the deadline gets closer, and still, they wait. Days pass, weeks pass, and still, they're waiting for that spark, that surge of energy, that magical moment when everything clicks. Psychology calls this mood-dependent behavior. They've conditioned themselves, often without realizing it, to believe they can only work when they feel a certain way. And because that feeling is rare, the work rarely gets done. Until the last minute, when panic replaces motivation, when fear kicks in, when adrenaline floods the system, and suddenly, miraculously, they can finish in 2 hours what they avoided for 2 weeks. You'll recognize them by their patterns. They work best under pressure. They say things like, I'm just not in the mood right now. I work better when it's urgent. I need the deadline to push me. But the truth is, they've just trained their brain to only activate in crisis mode. They've become addicted to the adrenaline rush of last-minute panic. It's not about energy, it's about conditioning, about neural pathways that have been carved through repetition. The comfort zone guardian. This type procrastinates because starting means change, real, tangible change. And change, even good change, even necessary change, feels threatening to the nervous system. They know what they need to do. They can see it clearly. Apply for the job, start the business, have the difficult conversation, end the relationship that's not working, leave the job that's draining them, move to a new city. But doing it means leaving the familiar, the safe, the predictable, the known. And the brain hates uncertainty. It craves patterns, routine, predictability. So they delay. Not because they don't want it, not because they don't dream about it, but because wanting it means risking everything they currently have. Even if what they have isn't working, even if they're miserable, even if they know, logically, that change would improve everything. Psychologists call this status quo bias, the preference for things to stay the same, even when change would objectively improve life. These people don't fear failure, they fear the unknown, the unpredictable, the uncontrollable. And so they stay stuck, comfortable in their discomfort, familiar with their pain. If you've ever said, I'll do it when I'm ready, but never felt ready, you're protecting your comfort zone. And your brain, your beautiful protective brain, will keep finding reasons to wait. Excuses that sound logical, rational, but are really just fear dressed up as wisdom. Here's what connects all 4 types. Procrastination isn't about time management. It never was. It's about emotion management. The perfectionist is managing fear of judgment and failure. The avoider is managing overwhelming, uncomfortable emotions. The energy manager is managing inconsistent motivation and mood. The comfort zone guardian is managing fear of change and the unknown. In psychology, this is called temporal discounting. We choose short-term comfort, short-term relief, over long-term benefit. Not because we're broken, not because we're weak, but because our brain is doing exactly what brains do, protecting us from discomfort, shielding us from pain, keeping us safe. But here's the truth nobody tells you. Understanding why you procrastinate is the first step to changing it. Not fixing it, changing your relationship with it. You're not lazy, you're not undisciplined, you're not a failure, you're human. And once you know which type you are, once you understand the pattern, you can work with your brain instead of against it. You can have compassion for yourself instead of judgment. And if you're watching this as we step into 2026, here's your moment. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready. Right now. This new year isn't just about resolutions. It's about evolution. Understanding yourself. Making different choices. 2025 is behind you. Whatever you've been putting off, whatever you've been avoiding, whatever you've been waiting for the perfect moment to start, 2026 is your signal. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to feel ready. You don't need the stars to align. You just need to begin. One small step, one uncomfortable conversation, one application submitted, one decision made. Because the difference between who you are and who you want to become isn't time, it's action. And 2026 is waiting for the version of you that stops procrastinating and starts becoming. So which one are you? The perfectionist paralyzed? The task avoider? The energy manager? Or the comfort zone guardian? And what's the one thing you're going to stop procrastinating on in 2026? Drop a comment and let us know. If this made you think different, hit subscribe. We go deeper every day. Don't forget to like the video. It helps more people find messages like this. Pattern Explore isn't just a channel. It's a place where you finally understand yourself. Happy New Year! Let's make 2026 the year you finally start.